everybody, how's it going? It is Matt and it is Terrifying Tuesday, and I am back at you with yet another review. Before I roll on to anything, I want to wish each and every one of you a great morning, evening, dawn, day, or dusk, all that lovely stuff, because life really is too short as is. Do me a really huge favor and like, share, and subscribe. I love seeing your beautiful faces when I am here. I know it's an awful lot lately, but I have an awful lot on my plate to review. So without further ado, also one last thing. Check out the information in the description box. I give you your brief synopsis, starring cast, which today I actually wrote the brief synopsis just to let you know how crappy the synopsis is for it. Your starring cast, your director, your runtime of the cut I am watching, along with a link for where, if you decide, you can donate a couple of bucks and you can buy me a cup of coffee or a donut or a movie or whatever it is that your little heart desires. I shall get it. And without further ado, now that we got all that out of the way, let's roll on to the film of the day. Yes, and it is a good one. It is a little slow, I'm not going to lie, but it pays off 100%. It is one that you will have to pay attention to because there is so much dialogue going on, and it is just splendid. It stars none other than my good friend Martin W. Payne, all the way from the UK, who I absolutely love and adore his films. I have seen a nice little portion of stuff he's done, just because the man is so generous enough to send me them to review for him. And I am on to Roadkill, which I believe it's either 2022 or 2023. I'm writing 2023 for it just because there really is no information on it out there yet. There's no IMDb, there's no trailer, there's no link for where you can watch it or a link for where you can purchase it yet. But it is, when it does go available, I highly, highly, highly recommend Roadkill. It is 100% solid all the way from beginning to end. It is 100% a thrill ride. It definitely leaves you, if you are a connoisseur of films with a lot of dialogue, this is the film for you. It will work. It will 100% work all the way because it is a performance piece. It is definitely one where there has to be a lot of great chemistry between the two that are in this film, between Peter Tilley and Martin Payne. They both do a fantastic job because this movie is almost 100% filmed inside of a car moving down the road. Not all of it, but almost. I would say about 95% of it is. It is a huge portion of it. Now, what exactly is it about? Martin's character, he is driving along and he decides to pull off into a little park. It looks like some sort of park where people can have a little picnic or just go for a walk or just do whatever it is they do in that park. It didn't look huge, but looks can be very deceiving. I've never been there, so I can't justify that. But he stops off. He's going to get rid of a little bit of rubbish, and he decides that, he stopped by a young man played by Peter Tilley who asks him for a ride to the local, I'm guessing, train station or bus station or whatever it is that he is getting to. He asks him for a ride. Martin gladly obliges and takes him. He gets him in the car. They start chatting away, and he says, asks questions. Whereabouts are you going? What are you doing? What's going on with this, that, and the other? Peter's character politely answers every question that Martin has for him, and each and every one of them gets more and more personal, I would say, as the ride goes on, because you find out about Peter Tilley's girlfriend, and you find out about his brother, you find out about his family, and you find out about horrible things like his brother has been killed. He was stabbed to death. His parents died in a tragic house fire. His girlfriend, who he's very vague about, you find out later on that he has also killed her as well. And he basically holds Martin hostage. Martin gladly is taking him all the way to the South End. I believe that's what they called it, was the South End. Either way, it was basically hours and hours and hours away. And he is politely and happily driving him along while trying to carry on a very peaceful and calm conversation. It is definitely, like I said, it's a slow one. It's a slow burn. It definitely is not for people that want a lot of action, because there really is not a lot of action. All the deaths, minus one, are off screen, or simply talked about, not off screen. They are simply just talked about. This gives it more of a thriller aspect, in my opinion. Although picking up a hitchhiker that it pulls out a giant knife about yay long that looks like something straight out of a Rambo movie would scare the hell out of anybody, I would imagine. At one point, before all this happens, Martin pulls over and he decides that he's going to relieve himself. And as he comes back, he notices that Peter has been shuffling around inside his rucksack, or his backpack, as we like to call it here in the States. He is rustling around in it, and Martin quickly asks him, "What are you doing? What are you looking for? Is there something going? Is there something wrong? Is there something going on?" And that's when he eventually pulls out the giant knife, after being poked and prodded and asked if he has a blade. I think you have a blade, as Martin says over and over again. I think you're up to no good. Things of that nature. And that's when you find out, yeah, Peter is up to no good, and that's when he basically, it's no longer just a nice ride along the countryside. It turns into a hostage situation. Now, as they are going along, you know that there is something up, something else, something more darker and sinister going on than what appears to be going on screen. The ending, that is the only thing. I saw the ending coming a mile away. That is one thing about watching as many movies as I watch. I guess endings very easily. But with that in mind, it is still very, very, very good. Very much worth the while. Definitely worth watching when it does come out, when it does drop. I hope that you guys all run out and check out Roadkill from Kieran Johnston. Which, by the way, Kieran makes a cameo at the end of this, and he plays another one of Martin's fares along the way. Because Martin drives people for a living. And so he stops and he picks him up, and so he picks up another hitchhiker, and away they go. And when you do watch this, watch through the credits. There's little bloopers in there, which are very fun. There's a great one where Martin is just kind of like leaning there and he's sleeping. And our second hitchhiker comes up and knocks on the door, and eventually the camera just falls over. Greatest blooper I've seen in years. The only reason I love it so much is because I've had it happen to me in the middle of a review, and in one of my reviews I totally kept it. I just winged it, picked up the camera, put it back on its tripod, and went away. It did that several takes, several tries, several times, so now I have a new tripod. But I absolutely loved that little tidbit that they threw in at the very end there. It really adds a little extra panache to the film. I think all in all, this is definitely well worth your watch. Now, as far as my three things go, audio, it has great audio. It gets an A plus because you never once are misunderstanding what is being said. It helps that they are in a confined location, such as a vehicle. The car is a perfect sound box because there is no windows down, there is no music on, there are no televisions playing, there are nobody on their phones, there is none of that nonsense going on. So you 100% hear every single word that is being said. So that gets an A plus on my end, and I love when films can actually deliver on that aspect. Now, number two, dialogue. Dialogue is one of my biggest things that I always like to critique on. Not always, but some films, they try to go for dialogue masterpieces and it falls flat. This works with the dialogue. It's hip, it's cool, it's got all the new fancy lingo. Martin is vibing very well with the dialogue. So is Peter. They both have great chemistry together, which I like to add on performance. Performance will be another thing that I am going to add on. Martin always comes through with a bang every single time. Every single time, the guy is a champion. The guy is one of my favorite UK actors. When he sends me stuff, I get excited. Because I know that I am going to see something that is going to be good. From XXX Deep Web XXX to Roadkill to I will be doing Ice Scream on the Beach next week, which I am very excited for, to Lonely Hearts. Lonely Hearts by far is a phenomenal little gem, and that one is definitely available out there. I highly recommend getting Lonely Hearts. It's from Dark Side Releasing, a Canadian company, I do believe, but they are all available on Amazon. So definitely check that out. It is well worth it. What else did I do with him in there? There was one, was it Viral? Was he in that? He also was in the one where, is it Viral? Shoot, that's not it. It's Digest is what it's called, I believe, if memory serves me. It's been a hot minute since I reviewed it, but he plays a man who is intrigued with ingesting things over and over and over again, things that no human should. So the guy is very well rounded as an actor. Does dinner acting as well as far as play style stuff goes. The guy is very accomplished. So if you are a fan of Martin Payne, you will love this movie. You will like every moment of it, and it will keep your attention from beginning to end. Now, on to the third and final thing that I always like to judge my film on is editing. The editing is fine, crisp, clear, smooth, and clean. It rolls along, and it's smooth like a baby's bottom. It is very seamless feeling because there is a lot of really long, great cuts, really long, great takes of dialogue going on between Peter and Martin. It works 1,000,000%. I know that is physically not possible, but it works 1,000,000%. And if you guys check this out, you will be pleased. So it gets an A plus on editing. So we got 3 A pluses. Will this get the 5? No, it gets a 4.5 out of 5. I think it is well worth it. So it is almost there to that 5. I think if it would have been maybe another 15 minutes longer and maybe a little bit more between Martin and the final hitchhiker that he picks up at the end, that second hitchhiker, I would like to have seen maybe a sequel. I would like to see more of this. I think it is just a gem of a film, and I really want you guys to check it out. So definitely run on out when it comes out. Roadkill 2023, Kieran Johnston. Martin W. Payne, and Peter Tilley. You guys, all three of you did a fucking splendid job, and I am so happy that Martin sent this to me to check out. I will be reviewing another film from him, Ice Cream on the Beach, next, or I believe it's this Sunday, actually. It'll be on the 1st of October. That's all I remember is that. I think that's the 1st is Sunday. Either way, tune in tomorrow for Abject. Friday will be Psychotic Breakdown, and then Saturday is Taxidermist to round out the entire month. So there is the rest of the month. I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day, and I can't wait to see you tomorrow. And as always,